Hey everybody, welcome to week 8. In this week we are going to be looking specifically at violence and media and its impact on young children. Our goals for this session are to understand the effect on media with young children and how violence affects the classroom, and then we'll also review mistaken behavior and violence by levels. In this week's discussion, we'll look specifically at ways in which violent media impacts children's development and behavior. Studies do show that children who watch violent TV or play violent video games are much more likely to engage in aggressive behaviors. Children act out what they see and hear in play. They develop scripts that guide their behavior based on the actions they see others engaging in. This not only impacts their social moral development, but their intellectual and emotional development as well. Children from an early age are developing worldviews based on all interactions and situations they encounter, including those they encounter in the media. Does TV violence impact a child's ability to problem solve? Absolutely. Children imitate what they see. Some children more than others, especially depending on how adults and peers in their environment engage with media. TV geared towards adults and even children's cartoons show problem solving using violent measures. Remember Roadrunner and Tom and Jerry? Just the other day, I myself was watching an episode of iCarly with my kids and experienced one of the characters smacking another across the face in response to something that happened. And this sends the message to the viewer, especially young children who are very impressionable, that it's okay to strike out and hurt others when they're angry or hurt. This graphic shows the major causes of serious mistaken behavior: difficulty in managing emotions, avoidance of intimacy, provocative behavior, disturbance in attachment process, effects on cognition and learning. And studies show that children exposed to repeated television and video game violence can become desensitized to violence, meaning that the more they see it, the less likely they are to be disturbed by it. Children can develop conditions ranging from aggressive behavior to increased anxiety. Violence seen on television desensitizes them to real human pain and suffering, not being able to make that connection between my actions and the way that my actions impact another. Children may have difficulty differentiating between entertainment and reality. This is just a reminder. These are the levels of mistaken behavior, and level 1 is experimental, where children are trying things out to see what happens. And level 2 is the socially influenced mistaken behavior, where they are intentionally or unintentionally influenced by others and can be influenced by others outside of the classroom as well, like hearing their parents swear or the neighbor children using inappropriate language, just those things they see in their environment that are going to socially influence their behavior. And then level 3, the strong needs behavior. And this is the most serious of the levels of mistaken behavior. This often results in unmet emotional or physical needs, almost always hurting to the child or himself or others. These children tend to be non-social or at times even antisocial. It's important for teachers to work on building positive relationships and building partnerships with families. And this is something we haven't looked at before. This is the levels of violence. Remember, it's normal for children to imitate what they see. That's how children learn. They act out and they imitate what they see on TV, in video games, at home. They act those things out in their play. This means that they act out some of the images that they may see in media, as well as the violent acts that they may see at home or in their communities. Children will turn things like bananas or Legos into guns or blocks, and engage in rough and tumble play with not only puppets, action figures, and dolls, but their peers as well. It's up to us, the adults, in children's lives to help them understand socially acceptable ways of interacting with others, but we also know that children are learning through these experiences. How much of level 1 listed on the slide is acceptable? How much do we allow in our centers and classrooms? So when you see children making toy guns out of bananas or out of blocks or Legos, how much of that is acceptable in your classroom or center? Do you have a no tolerance policy, or do you allow children to explore those ideas? Those are things that you have to really determine on your own, and what's acceptable for you, what is allowable. Level 2 represents a more adverse version of acting out violent media. These behaviors are worrisome and do require guidance. When children are engaging in level 3 mistaken behaviors and are acting out in violent ways, they need intervention immediately. That involves caring practitioners who are well prepared to manage crisis situations with children. And in your text this week, you read about crisis management and how to intervene and how to interact with those children who are experiencing direct violence experiences and level 3 mistaken behavior. So you need to be thinking, what will you do when a child cannot regain their composure on their own? And my message is we must be prepared. And so in your text and throughout the course of the quarter, we have been talking about prevention and intervention. And now just thinking about your own skills as a practitioner, your ability to observe and differentiate between children's play, what they're seeing and doing and interacting or acting out, maybe from what they're seeing on TV or in video games, or maybe what are they experiencing at home or in their community, and how do we support these children and families? Mistaken behavior levels 1 and 2 are common in children who are influenced directly by background violence. That's the violence in the media. That's what they see on TV, hear on the radio, experience in video games. Unfortunately, we can't go into a family's home and change the channel or turn the TV off, or climb in their car and change the radio station or turn the music off, but we can empower parents and families to make appropriate media decisions for their children. We can help educate them, but we first have to be educated ourselves. Mistaken behavior level 3, those are the children that are directly victimized by violence in their home or their community, and those are the children that need intervention immediately, that need our support, and those families need access to mental health care, access to professionals that can help them make sense of what they're experiencing in their environments. All right, this week you are going to watch a brief documentary about the effects of media on children, and it comes from the University of Washington, and that's actually what our graded discussion post is going to be about this week. There's some questions that relate back to that documentary specifically that I would like you to address. At the end of this module, there's another video that just shows 2 professionals describing what we can do to help intervene, to help promote the use of media in appropriate ways, how we support parents, and how we respond to children who are maybe engaged in some inappropriate media exposure. All right, have a great week. This week your guidance philosophy paper is also due. Stay tuned, more to come about that.